Well, hello there. Out today, a beautiful Saturday. Temperatures a little bit lower than they have been, the low 80s, and probably dropping. I think I'm past the peak heat of the day. Come out today to do a section of the Pinhoti Trail. The Pinhoti runs from central Alabama all the way up basically to right near where the Appalachian Trail southern terminus is. But this particular section I'm doing today, I'm doing an out and back section that's going to be getting me a little over 11 miles. And the trailhead I started from is actually just about across the street from where I hit the trailhead for when I've done the Kiowan Falls and Johns Mountain trail. I'm seeing already that this trail is a little bit more overgrown vegetation wise than a lot of the ones I do typically, not being part of a park system as it were, but more a section of a long trail. So we'll see what the conditions of it are like as we go, and hopefully the weather holds out. I think there's a chance of some thunderstorms this afternoon, but hopefully they'll be scattered and not hit where I'm at. We'll see how it goes, but it's a new trail, new adventure, and I'm looking forward to it. Some more wooded areas after passing Pilcher's Pond. And of course now I get the added trail benefit of webs to the face, because it's obviously a trail that doesn't get a significant amount of regular traffic, and as such the spiders have had time to build their network up. And so the trekking poles are coming into secondary duty, keeping webs out of my face whenever possible. So we'll hope this doesn't last, but I have a feeling that I'll be dealing with it the whole stretch. So we will face as it comes. But into some shade here, which is nice. And now that I am into the more wooded area, the trail itself is a little less overgrown than it was out in some of the more open spaces. So pros and cons. Just about to begin my big ascent for the day, and I come across this little creek spring fed waterway that is making a cut through and across the trail here to a little spillway. If I was not carrying water, this would be a good place to do a water refresh. So good to know if I were to ever be doing a through hike or section hike of the Pinhoti, that hey, there's a good running water source here. Since we haven't had any rain in probably a couple weeks now. In fact, if this is still running strong, is an indication that it's likely a pretty reliable spot. So good to know. Moving on and getting ready to do my ascent. Looks like some horses have come through this area. I'm actually going to cross a little bit higher, just step across there. It's not quite so muddy. And there we go. And moving out, spiders and all. Still making my way up the ascent, though the steep elevation portion seems to be past, and I'm to a bit of a more intermittent flat and slight ascent situation at this point of the trail. The breeze has definitely picked up here in the last little bit. I don't know if it's just because I came to a little bit of a crest or what. I'm also starting to hear rumbles of thunder off to my right, which I believe is east of me. So I'm hoping, since weather here typically moves from a west to east orientation, that it might just be a little pop-up that's gonna form up and then head away from me, as opposed to anything that might impact me anytime soon. But definitely keeping my awareness of the situation, so that if I need to whip out the rain gear rapidly, I can. And I'm hoping that I get down off this no, it's not exactly an exposed ridge, but the higher elevation, get down from that before anything really sets in. So still battling webs, and probably collecting enough silk to make myself a nice scarf by the end of this. Hopefully the spiders aren't industrious enough to have reformed their webs on my way back down this trail on my return trek. But we will see. For now, continuing upward. Well, I've crested the peak. A little bit before I got there, the rain started up, so I had to break out the rain gear, as you can see. Continuing on, it's not come down extremely hard, but it is a steady rain, so we'll hope it doesn't get any more severe than this. Still lots of lightning sounding off all around me, or I should say the lightning's flashing, the thunder sounding off. But yeah, making my way down. I think at the base of this descent is where I hit the turnaround point, so then I'll be resting for a bit there, and then proceeding right on back up this this peak for my turnaround journey. So we'll see how things go, how the weather holds out, and how many more spider webs I can eat. But, yeah, every day's an adventure, right? Well, I'm just about to the next trailhead, which is my turnaround point. So the path descending down from the peak was definitely a lot more weather impacted. The drizzly continuous rain has continued, but it obviously had seen some heavier rain prior to my getting to it, because the trail was pretty much a waterway the whole way, and lots of areas with standing water and mucky muddiness to navigate around and through. So haven't had the camera out filming much of it. We'll see after my turnaround and I'm heading back up what things are like, if I can take the poncho off at all and get some more footage. But yeah, so I'm nearing halfway, hoping I can make a little bit better time. The ascent back up is at a less of a grade than it was making my ascent on the far side, so hopefully I can have a little bit better pace with that. And I'm thinking the rain is mostly moving off and the thunder's getting more distant, so I'll check the weather forecast again after I stop, just to see what I'm looking at. But yeah, I'm coming up on the road here, so I'll pay attention to traffic, and we'll check in more after I start heading back. Well, I'm on my way back. I'm going ahead and taking the poncho off because it's just a light drizzle and mainly stuff falling from the trees, so I'd rather have a little bit of air rather than the stifling inside the poncho. because I'm going to get wet either way, from sweat or from rain. Or so mainly I had the poncho on to protect the backpack, and I think what's coming down now is fine given what I have in there. So whoa, see if you see that guy, little salamander. They are probably going to be out in plenty. Hopefully I'll get some good footage and photos of those. Let's see if I can't snap a photo for you guys. I'm continuing on, like I said, hoping this ascent back up is going to be a little bit easier and I can make some better time with it. I was just under 3 hours getting the way out, which was right around 6 miles according to my tracking. So that's about a 30-minute mile pace. See if we can't improve on that a little bit. Not so worried about beating the light, given it's still staying light pretty good. But I still got an hour and a half drive home after the hike, so I don't want to be getting home too late. And I'm sure my wife would appreciate dinner at a reasonable hour. Well, she may have to do it on her own if she wants that. We'll see. But for now, I will let you know if I see anything of note along the way back. But I'm going to concentrate on one foot in front of the other. Well, I've made it back up to the peak point again, and there's not a ton of views here. It's pretty overgrown all around, but you do have some interesting things up here. I got a picture earlier of the rock cairn that marks the peak here, and then over to the side here we've got a little, you can see that, I'll get a little closer, little memorial tree planting for someone. I have to look up later what his significance to this point was. Got one of them crooked trees here. See people talking about crooked trees all the time, and I guess they got one up here. But I'm going to start making my way down. That ascent took me about an hour, so I think I'm making better pace. It was definitely less strenuous coming up that way than it was the other, even though I'm a couple hours later into my hike. So feeling good about that. Now we just got to see how treacherous the descent over here is going to be after the rain came through. So we'll see how things go from here and let you know how we go along the way. Well, I passed this on the way up, but given the weather conditions I didn't stop to examine. It looks like, you know, as we look here, see the feather and more feathers and more feathers scattered throughout this area. Someone didn't come to a good end here, so I have to check with my wife. She's the birder of the family, to see based on these feathers who may have come to an untimely end, but that's what it looks like happened here. So we'll see. Maybe I'll post a comment along with a picture after identification is made, if we're able to do so. The critters seem to have come out after the weather. I've gotten photos of a few of them. For the most part, the trail has been web free now. There have been a couple more industrious fellows or ladies that have reconstructed their domiciles across the path, and sadly I had to be repeat homewrecker for them, but hopefully they'll quickly rebuild now that I've left them, and get on about their lives as I continue on. And I can only hope that there aren't many, if any, that are as industrious as we continue on. I'm nearing the end of the more shallow descent, and getting ready to go along the steeper slope that I had to do the initial climb up, and so look to see what the footing's going to be like on that. I have been pleased that the trail seems to have recovered quickly from that brief storm we had, and you know, as I was coming back up on the far side, you know, the areas of standing water and running water that I was dealing with going down during the storm had already pretty much settled and dried up, and you know, while the trail might be damp, there wasn't really any standing water or mud to deal with for the most part. So shows good trail construction that it can recover that quickly, and let's just hope that continues to be the case, not knowing exactly how much weather hit the slope that I'm about to go down, since that was behind me and I think most of the storm was ahead of me on my way out. Anyway, whoop, there's another spider. Oh, he's a big one. Yeah, we'll be moving on. Let him do his thing. That wasn't one of the little ones that I normally encounter. So, moving on quickly. Well, I just passed the pond that I passed near the start of the trail when I was getting going. So I'm just about back to the trailhead, probably less than half a mile to go. So it's been a good day out here, despite the weather and the webs. I've enjoyed my hike. It's been a quiet one. There has not been a single other person on the trail. Did see a couple of people in cars when I got to the other trailhead, but actually I just saw the cars. I didn't even really see the people. I know they were in there because they pulled up right as I got there. But yeah, it's been a little bit different trail. You know, going along one that's, you know, designed more as a section of a long trail and not a day trail type of situation where you're looping or out and back. The trail has had a different feel to it. There's, you know, less amenities and such. You know, you're not finding the occasional